What's going on, everybody? So, I wanted to jump on today and kind of give my opinion on why I don't like the bro split for tactical populations, for tactical athletes. And I don't think this is going to come as a shock to anyone who knows anything about human performance. If you look across the board and you pull random strength coaches, whether they're in the tactical space, outside the tactical space, I don't think you're going to find anyone who's going to argue differently, right? I think the general consensus is going to be with anyone who has uh, any kind of actual formal training, right, and hands-on experience at the same time. They're all going to tell you the same thing: that listen, while the bro split might have its place in certain very specific situations, for the most part, it is not a great idea for anyone who's chasing performance within their job set. you know, uh, it kind of comes down to the aesthetics versus performance type thing. And one of the best analogies that I can think of offhand, and that some of you might resonate with, I do a lot of shooting competitions, and one of the things you see a lot of new guys do is they always want to go out and keep buying the next thing, right? The next piece of gear. And the old timers will all tell them like, hey, listen, as long as you have the basics of what you need gear wise, it really all comes down to training and scheduling and structuring everything around increasing your overall performance, right? So you could buy that next gun, you could buy a new holster, a new belt setup, whatever it is. But if you're not practicing your draw, if you're not practicing target transitions and things like this, you're not going to see appreciable gains, right? And that's what the bro split is in the strength and conditioning world, right? In my opinion, especially within the tactical population, because new gear is sexy. It is cool. I think most men are hardwired to an extent to enjoy gear, right? Like I know personally myself, I like watches, I like firearms, I like knives. Like I am a gear junkie in everything that I do. And most of the people that I know within this tactical realm are also the same way. And when you're doing a bro split, that's exactly what you're doing. I mean, you're literally trying to train for the sexy thing, right? For the aesthetics, for the I want to get a bigger bench press. I want to get uh, ripping delts. I want to be yoked. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever. But in the end, that's not going to help you perform your job, right? Like you could have a 505 bench. That doesn't make you better at being a cop or being a firefighter. It's just the reality of it. And so I think this is a situation that a lot of tactical athletes find themselves in, is that they're doing this training and there's a lot of resources out there for it, but it's not improving their performance. Now, don't get me wrong, right? If you are doing this and everyone else at your department is doing nothing, yeah, you're going to be better than them, right? But if you're looking at the top 10%, and if that is your goal, is to be the best at your job, which I think it should be, doing bro split is not going to get you there. And I guess just to clarify for people who don't know what a bro split is, it's basically every single day you're training a different muscle group. So the one that everyone knows, Monday is bench day, right? So you'd have a bench day, you'd have a leg day, you'd have a back day, bicep day, whatever. The other reason I really don't like bro splits for tactical athletes is that it doesn't give you time to work around your schedule as well as what I think it could. A lot of times you're running on low sleep. Maybe you had a schedule flip flop, and there are days where you're going to inevitably have to miss, right? And if you're missing days while doing a bro split, that means you're probably only touching that muscle group once during the week. So if you miss that, whatever, let's just say it's your leg day, right? Let's say you miss your leg day. Well, now you got to wait till next week to do it, potentially, right? I'm not saying that that's always the case, but potentially. Versus if you're training like an athlete should be training, you would just basically pick up where you left off, because every day would be the same in terms of how it would be set up from a programming standpoint, right? Another issue with bro training is that they don't do any kind of power work. any kind of agility, sprint, that sort of stuff, which is huge for the job of a tactical athlete, right? You've got to be able to move your body quickly and efficiently. And when you're leaving that out and all you're doing is high volume workouts, maybe paired with some cardio here and there, you're leaving a lot on the table. Another reason that I think the bro split doesn't work is you're not going to be driving the proper adaptations that are needed to increase performance, right? Typically in a bro split, you are looking to increase muscle mass. Now, muscle mass is great, right? It's body armor. We love having armor to keep everything healthy, but there is a point of diminishing returns to where you are so yoked that you lose mobility. But more importantly, you're going to lose the ability to express what your body should be able to do, right? So that I'm talking about here strength, and then also like dipping back into power work. So if you're not actually progressing weights that are meant to drive increases in strength, that means you're not increasing power output, and you're also probably not working on power output later on down the line. There are some cases where, I think bro splits do work. And I think the biggest one would be if you're suffering from an injury. Like if you're someone who loves working out and you like to be in the gym 5 days a week, but you have, let's just say, a knee injury, right? Like your knee's just bothering you. Having a bro split would help you get in every single day during the week while also being able to work around that injury. But I would also challenge you and say that's probably not the best way to do it, and that you really should be training that muscle tissue to a tolerable load, right? So with that being said, what would I suggest to tactical populations? Well, you need to have every single workout, in my opinion, needs to be a full body day, right? We need to hit lower body, upper body, both days. Always have some kind of power exercise in there. So the most common ones are jumps, med ball throws. If you are proficient at cleans and snatches, by all means do that. It's not my favorite, but it works. And then obviously you need to have your accessory stuff, the stuff that's going to help keep you on the job and hopefully help avoid injury a little bit more. And typically what I like to do from a programming standpoint is, bare minimum 3 days a week. You can go up to 4 days a week. If you're doing that, I would highly suggest maybe following something a little bit more like Westside conjugate method, especially when you're in like a strength phase, just because it's going to be better tailored for recovery. But 3 days a week is the absolute minimum, and the most I would say to train back to back would be 2 days back to back. So you could very easily do a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday split with maybe Wednesday and Saturday being cardio days. And that wouldn't really leave you too sore, because you could mitigate around having those days back to back. So it could be that one of those full body days, let's say it's the Monday, is a pull day, the next day's a push day, right? And then when you go back on, what would that be? When you go back on Thursday, you'd be back into your pull day and then push day again on Friday. So there's ways to work around that. But that's why I don't think the bro split really works, and why I think you're better off if you decide to follow a more athletic approach to training, because in the end, that's what's actually going to push the variables that matter to you, that make you great at your job.